Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So devotees, we are going to Vrindavan again. And as you can see up there on the screen, we're going to visit the 7 original temples of Vrindavan. The old temples, yes, beginning with Madan Mohan, then on to Govinda, then Gopinath, then Radha Damodar, and then, what is it anyway? Anyway, the last one is Radha. Okay, so let's begin. Let us just begin. So here we are, devotees. We're standing on the Parikrama path, looking up at the old map and look around. This is what we normally do, I do, is look around, explore. Anyway, there we are. We're back at a little further distance. This is the Parikrama path here, of course. Right, and let's see where we are next. Okay. Oh, and just one interesting detail. Just here, you see this little dome, little sort of shrine type thing. This is actually the Samadhi of Sanatana Goswami. And we will go there in a few minutes. Yes, okay. So just for interest's sake, this, well, the main temple room was just on the other side of this here. This was the main entranceway. Yeah, and this, I'm not exactly sure what that was back in those days. And here we are, we're going up the stairs, the back entrance, in fact. And away we go. Now there we are. And we will just go around and check things out. Just up behind us is this little shrine here. And this is a little raised area, just like a meter or something above the surrounding ground level. And this is called Dwadash Aditya Til. Til means hill, and Dwadash means 12, and Aditya means suns, as in the sun in the sky. When Lord Krishna was performing his Kaliya Damana Leela, and was out in the being held by the Kaliya serpent. So he was very cold because he was held for some hours. So it was really cold. When he came back in eventually, he came up here, and the sun, being his devotee, manifested in 12 forms to dry him out and warm him up. So he stood right where that little, right where this, but right where that little structure was. So anyway, here is the path, the Parikrama path. In fact, this used to be this was the riverbed of the Yamuna. And you see these little structures here. These were bathing ghats. They were actually bathing ghats on the Yamuna. But now the Yamuna hardly ever comes in this far, although it does sometimes. So, okay. see this little thing here? This is a well. And it is said that Krishna dug this well with his flute for Sanatana Goswami. This is what they say. But now, of course, now they've motorized it. And you can get water. Yeah, you can take water from here, from this well. Right, let's continue. Next little building, this little building just passed. This is said to be the Bhajan Kutia of Sanatana Goswami. And you may have noticed that there was a sign saying no photos, but, anyway, what can you do? We had to take a photo. So, right, they say that he used to stay, not in this building, of course, because this was 500 years ago, but just sort of here, around about here. Yes. And now this building here, this was the temple room. Let's go in and have a look. Oops, what happened? This is the other side of the temple. And it's in the big, the main big dome there. Yes, okay. So now we go down. So there, that temple where those deities were just a moment ago was down inside this structure here. So let's see. We're going next door to the new Madan Mohan temple, meeting a few parrots, and probably a few monkeys. Let's see, anyway. So, okay, no, this is now at the back, down the bottom of the back. And this is the Samadhi of Srila Sanatana Goswami. And now they've sort of extended it. There's a sort of, something sticking out over here so people can sit in comfort. But inside, this is showing you where it is. That's that little, the Samadhi itself. You can see it's down from the temple. But inside is the Samadhi deity of Srila Sanatana Goswami. Yesterday, if you were with us yesterday, you would have seen in Raghunath Das Goswami's Samadhi, there was something like this, was a bit smaller than this, but this is like a traditional Samadhi deity. His transcendental body is said to be buried under here. And this is a picture of Sanatana Goswami offering a special preparation called bhakti to Madan Mohan, because Sanatana Goswami was the worshipper of Madan Mohan. And there's another painting. And here you can see that Madan Mohan is taking a little, it's like a little piece of bread, circular, and just make some dough, throw that dough into the fire, like directly, then take it out, break the sort of the black crust off, and in the center you get this little, sort of little bready thing. So, right, here's the Samadhi deity again. And this is interesting. This is what they call the Grunt Samadhi. It means the Samadhi of the scriptures. Jiva Goswami collected all the books written by the six Goswamis and sent them to Bengal. But there were some books which he thought were just too esoteric. So what he did, he buried them here under this structure. So they were buried down in the ground under this. And so this is called the grunt samadhi, grunt meaning scripture, the samadhi of the scriptures. And here, there are two samadhis of two great devotees. Let's just have a look and see. This, I think, is the samadhi of Tapan Mishra. And this is the samadhi of Chandrasekhara Acharya. They were two very close associates of Lord Chaitanya. Right. And right next door, just across the road about just a minute of 10 meters away or less, is the new Madan Mohan temple. And this is a replacement deity. Pratibu, deity means replacement deity. The original deity is in Karoli, which is in Rajasthan, sort of, you could say on the way to Jaipur, kind of. Yeah. So that's the new Madan Mohan. And it's very nice. Actually, a very beautiful deity. And Srimati Radharani. And this is very interesting. You know what this is? This is Sanatana Goswami's Govardhan Shila. And if you ask the pujaris and the people here nicely, they may show you him. And you can see how small he is. This is a ring which goes on someone's finger. It gives you an idea. These are, of course, rose petals. He's small. He is really very, very small, but personally worshipped by Srila Sanatana Goswami. And, not usually, they don't usually, bring them out unless they get a special request. And now, this is the original Madan Mohan in Karoli. This is him. Yes, 5,000-year-old deity. And this deity you literally cannot photograph. It's not possible. So, therefore, this is like an optical illusion. But it's not actually. This is the original Madan Mohan with Radharani and Lalita. Yes, carved by, under the supervision of Uttara. Uttara was the, what would you say, daughter-in-law of Arjuna. And at the time that they made this deity, she was the only person still living who had seen Krishna. And so the people, they wanted to make deities. And they asked her, what does Krishna look like? And she gave a type of description. And then they made Madan Mohan according to that description. And they asked her, does this look like Krishna? And she said, this looks just like Krishna, up to the waist. So then they went sort of back to the drawing board, as they say. Let's see where we go. Yeah, that's Radharani. And yes, that's the altar in Karoli. What on earth is happening here? Is this thing malfunctioning? Anyway, this is right. So, right now we're going to the Radha Govinda temple. And Radha Govinda was worshipped by Srila Rupa Goswami. This is the original Radha Govinda in Jaipur. Yes. next they carved Govinda. And they asked Uttara, does this look like Krishna? And she says, this looks exactly like Krishna up to the neck. Yeah. And Radharani came later, actually. So yeah, we're in Jaipur, and this is the entrance. And actually, this is a major temple in the grounds of the palace of the Maharaj, who is still there. Of course, he's more like a businessman now than a ruler. But here you see it's pretty organized. You know, the Mahila there and the Purusha this side. Men and ladies are generally kept sort of separate to some degree. And the altar is behind this pink sort of thing there. Right. And here we are, having darshan. And you can see this is now midday arti. You know, sort of 12-ish or so. Yeah, and you can see so many people come. They love Radha Govinda. It's amazing. Mongol Arati, there's usually not many less than this. Wouldn't it be nice to have a Mongol Arati like that here? So here we have a few photos of Radha Govinda in different outfits. Yeah, close up, and a close up. And of course, they do all these decorations with chanda every day. And this is now in his night dress in winter. So you see they've wrapped cloth and stuff around his head to keep his head warm during winter. Right. Oh, this is like midwinter. Yeah. And his lotus feet. And this now just next, because this is going to, oops, sorry, Christopher. This here, this is Govinda. So right next to him is this Gaura Gopal deity. This is a deity of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna together. Yes, standing right next to Govinda. And this is Vishaka. And over here, this is Lalita. This is in winter, as you can see, they're really warmly dressed. Now we've just come across to Vrindavan town. And this is the old Govinda temple. It was bigger. There are 3 floors, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3. There were 7, but the top 4 were knocked off by Aurangzeb and his followers. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful old temple. Right, so let's go inside. And again, really beautifully done inside, so much carved stone. And there's the altar up in the front. And again, it's run by some people, and these are their personal deities. You can see Jagannath there, Govinda in the center, Gornitai, and just down here on the right, this is a Govardhan Shila, really quite special Govardhan Shila. So this is Govinda. And look at this Shila. Isn't that amazing? Natural Govardhan Shiva. Really striking. And some Govardhan, little Govardhan, oh no, these are all Shalakam Shivas. Right, so now we are going to go through into this part of the building, and we are going to go through the door and then down inside to have darshan of the original Yogamaya deity. There she is. This is the deity that when Kamsa tried, well, Vasudeva took Krishna across to Gokula and swapped Krishna for the girl child of Yashoda, and then brought the girl child back into the prison. And Kamsa came and grabbed the girl child and tried to throw her onto the rocks to kill her, but she flew out of his hand and into the sky and chastised her. You fool! The person who's going to kill you has already been born and he is elsewhere. So this is that original Yogamaya 5,000-year-old deity. And this is the new Govinda temple at the back, the new Govinda temple. And they really don't allow photos. But we took one anyway. Very good one technically, but anyway, there it is. Right, and now back to Jaipur. And this is Radha Gopinath. Yes. And when they were, or after they had carved Radha Govinda, then they carved Gopinath, and they asked, does this look like Krishna? And she said, yes, this looks completely like Krishna from head to toe. So he's Gopinath, Krishna as the Lord of the Gopis. And you see here, there are two deities here. This is the original Radharani who was standing here. But people felt she's too small, doesn't really sort of fit in with Gopinath, who's quite big. So what happened was that Janava Devi, the wife or main wife of Lord Nityananda, got this Radharani and donated him. So, whereas normally you'd have Lalita on the other side, but here we have two Radharanis. Yeah, next to Gopinath. Right, oh look at Gopinath, amazing. Really amazing. Lotus feet. And Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani. And, it's not a big temple. This is like the courtyard. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Shri Lornitai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Devi Ki Jai. Anyway, here the altar is in the front there. And here sit every day, all day, a whole lot of mainly elderly ladies, and they sing under the direction. They're sort of like a conductor who conducts the singing, and they just sit there and they just sing every day, all day, and there they are. And this is the conductor. His name is Sharma, friendly fellow, and they just sit there and sing. And sing and sing. And that's what they do. Pretty amazing group. mainly elderly. Looks like there's a younger one there. Otherwise, they're elderly ladies, as you can see. And yeah, this is now where the altar is inside there. And here, this is now a series of photos of Radha Gopinath with different outfits on. This is a summer outfit, because of course summer is really quite hot, whereas the winter is really quite cold. So again, there's Radharani and Radharani, but here's Lalita and here's Vishaka. So let's have a look at a few of these photos. This is another photo, Radha Gopinath, and another one, interesting looking, a crown he's got.
Point.
And, there's all sorts of interesting features.
He's got a watch.
Yeah. Gopinath is very particular about the times of the offerings and the aritis. So he has a watch. There, look, you see? Watch. It's a fact. Battery powered. Yes. It's also summertime. This looks more like winter time. And seal. And there you can see his watch. On his left hand side. He's right-handed. And another set of clothes. Yeah, oh, and look at the watch. I wonder what brand it is. We'd have to blow the picture up to see what make it is. But anyway, such a beautiful deity, amazing, outstanding deity. And just in that sort of courtyard area, if you remember where we were when we first arrived here, there was a courtyard and then little raised platform, and that was the temple itself. So just off the courtyard to the right is this outfit of clothes which belong to Madhu Pandit. As Sanatana Goswami is famous as the worshipper of Radha Mohan, as Rupa Goswami is famous as the worshipper of Radha Govinda, so Madhu Pandit, who was a friend of theirs, is famous as the worshipper of Radha Gopinath. And this is like a kurta and a hat and a set of japa counting beads made of tulsi beads. Just look at this. Isn't that amazing? And this is 500 years old. So, it is amazing. All these little tulsi beads all put together. And he used to wear that. And these were his counting beads. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I'm sure he chanted more than 14 hours a day. And now we're back in Vrindavan town. And this is his samadhi, which is just outside the Radha Gopinath temple in Vrindavan town. Yes. Yes, right. So as you can see, 1008 Sri Madhu Pandit Goswami Ji. Right, so this is his samadhi. That's the little building. The temple itself is up to the left. This is the samadhi though. This is winter. And they're very personal, so they cover the samadhi deity with this blanket to keep Madhu Pandit warm. So now we've gone into the Radha Gopinath temple in Vrindavan. And here, this is very interesting here. This is Gopinath, practical deity, replacement deity. There he is. And this, now, we're just going back and clarify the situation. Right. So now, normally, this would, not again. This would be Radharani, right? This is not Radharani. This is Radharani here. This is Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Radharani. This is Lalita here. She had a special relationship with Gopinath in Chaitanya Lila. She is Mother Janava, is Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Radharani. So that's where they are. Ananga Manjari or Mother Janava. Mother Janava. Right, so we are back in Jaipur though, and here again there's some of Radha Gopinath in different outfits. There's his watch again, and sure, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Oh, look, he's got, no, it's just one watch. He's got two watches. They're highly devotional, and they're very friendly. The pujaris, they do allow photos. Now, devotees, this is the Radha Damodar temple, and in Vrindavan, and this is in the center. This is Radha Damodar. Practical deities, generally taken to be, and here you see Krishna deities. And there's another set here. And you can just see Krishna from a fourth set, and Radharani's behind the curtain. So there's a whole lot of deities here. But you know what happens is, all these deities, these other deities like these and these, they had their own temples, but then the temples went bankrupt, so they handed the deities over to this temple, because this is one of the most successful temples in Vrindavan. Yes. So Radha Damodar, worshipped by Srila Jiva Goswami, and just look at the decoration. Isn't it amazing? Done every day with Chandana. Yeah. Really beautiful. Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. Yeah, so this is a different outfit. Now this is a Govardhan Shiva. And here, where these roses are, there is the Krishna's footprint. Yes. And let's try to have a closer look. So there's Krishna's footprint. There is the hoofprint of a calf. What now? There is Krishna's stick for guiding the cows. And here is a flute of Krishna. serving Srila Rupa Goswami. This is his samadhi, or one of his samadhis. And here, this is Prabhupada's veranda. This is his living quarters, and this is his kitchen and eating place. Let's go and have a look. So on the right is Prabhupada's living quarters. They say this is the original bed, and they say this is the original table and sitting place. You never know, but that's... And this is, they say, Prabhupada's original fan. And up here, this is interesting. If you look, you see, there's sort of slightly different edging there around that little slab. That's because this is Prabhupada's safe. He would put his Lakshmi inside and then put the rock there and close it up. Right. And Prabhupada's bed. And so that was in this room here. Now we've come across the veranda to Prabhupada's kitchen and eating place. So he would eat here at this end, sitting somewhere, well, sitting around here. Because you see this photo, this is Prabhupada eating right here and looking out this window right here. And it's quite a famous photo, actually. So you can see, yeah, Prabhupada was eating right there. Looking out the window, at the back are Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutia, which you can't really make it out, but anyway, it's there. You can sort of see it's there if you look carefully. Right. And just outside this is where, because Rupa Goswami was living here, and Jiva Goswami, the two of them. So devotees would come all the time, and they would take prasadam together. And this is where they would wash their hands here. And now in the meantime, devotees have come and collected dust from here. So now it's it's not that deep, but it's a bit of a deeper hole there. That's where they would wash their hands. Now we have gone to Jaipur, and this, to our knowledge, is the original Radha Damodar. Was carved by Sri Rupa Goswami and given as a gift to Srila Jiva Goswami, who was like his disciple, basically. Yeah. So this is, they say, the original Radha Damodar. And up here, this is Radha Krishna Chandra, the deities personally worshipped by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And then these are some deities just on the side to the left of the main altar, Lord Nrsimhadev and Radha Krishna and Krishna on his own. So now, devotees, we are going to the Radha Shamsundar temple. Radha Shamsundar were worshipped by Shamananda Pandit. Yeah, particularly Shamananda Pandit, who was an associate of Jiva Goswami and Narottam Thakur. So, and here's another one of the places where they just really don't like you to take photos. I mean, they really don't appreciate it at all. So what are we doing? We went backwards. Yeah, so there we are. But they have, you know what they have? They have a really nice website full of photos of their own of Radha Shamsundar. Just full of photos, so many photos. Just incredibly beautifully dressed and decorated deities, Radha Shamsundar. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, really. Quite something. Yeah, okay. And this is there's a couple of other little altars. Well, let's just go back for a second. Here, this is the original, original Radha Shamsundar little deities. They were given by Srimati Radharani to Shamananda. And let's have a look at the series of pictures, and we will tell the story. So here is, what does it say? Falguna Holy Purnima, right? And this is a bit difficult to read, but Hridaya Chaitanya Adhikari Shri Krishna Balaram Shri Gauritai Shri Bhagavat Balaresa Jai. Shamananda was sent by his guru Hridaya Chaitanya to Vrindavan to take instruction from Srila Jiva Goswami. This is Jiva Goswami welcoming him, Shamananda Prabhu there. And up here is, what does it say so hard to read? Anyway, is it Srinivas? Srinivas Acharya?
Narottam.
Oh, it's Narottam Thakur, and this is Srinivas. So the three of them became students of Srila Jiva Goswami, and it's almost so hard. So Sri Vrindavan May, Sri Jiva Goswami K.
Sat.
But.
Sat.
All right, whatever. So he was teaching Shamananda Prabhu of Milan when they met. Right, okay. So then, yes, there was Jiva Goswami instructing Shamananda and Narottam and Srinivas, Sri Jiva Goswami K. Nikat, Bhakti Grant, Adhyayan. Anyway, you can read a bit of the thing. It's all about Raganuga Bhajan Shiksha. Yes. So anyway, Shamananda Prabhu, there he is. He went to Radhakund and then Raghunath Das Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he was staying with Jiva Goswami in where Vrindavan town is now. And his duty was to clean Seva Kunj, the area of Radha Krishna's very intimate meeting. And one day he was there cleaning, you could see there's cleaning implements, and he found this ankle bell, like really high quality and valuable looking Nupur ankle bell. And he thought, maybe this belongs to Srimati Radharani. And who should come? But, anyway, we go back first. But Vishaka, Lalita, and asked that did you find an ankle bell set? And he said, yes, I have it here. And she said, well, could you give it to me because one of my girlfriends lost it and I want to take it back to her. And it's Manjari form. In Krishna Lila, he is Kanaka Manjari. You may not be able to read it, but it says there, Kanaka Manjari. And here the other, at least 7 of the Astasakis. Who's this? Anyway, who's that? What does that say? Induleka, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Induleka. Anyway, Champaglata, Lalita, I guess, maybe Vishaka, Sudevi, and so on and so forth, other of the gopis. So, Shamananda did that. Then Radharani took it off again and pressed it against the forehead of Kanaka Manjari. And it made like a real impression on the forehead of Kanaka Manjari. Yes. And in fact, when Kanaka Manjari, when Shamananda came out of this state of being Kanaka Manjari, that mark on the forehead was still there on him as Shamananda, and he was accepted as his tilak. But then Srimati Radharani, through Lalita, gave Kanaka Manjari Shamananda this little deity of Krishna, Shamsundar, the original Shamsundar. And so this is the original Shamsundar here, with Radharani on the altar, just next to the main deity. I'll kick you right out. Yeah. But you can easily get nice photos from the internet. Yes, and across the road is the sort of unassuming looking little building. This here is the Samadhi of Shamananda Prabhu. And this is the Samadhi deity, and it's winter, so he's all rained up nicely. And this is the place where Radharani pressed the ankle bell against his forehead, leaving an impression, at least in the forehead of him as, but it reminded when he came back to the state of being Shamananda. So this is where it happened, and this is what the tilak looks like. This is what the impression in the forehead looked like. So when you see people going around in Vrindavan with this sort of tilak, then you know these are members of Shamananda Prabhu's Sampradaya. Yeah, this is Bengali writing. I can't read it, I'm afraid. Right. Okay, next stop, Sri Radha Gokulananda Temple. Let's go in and have darshan. So here's the altar, and here, this is, this is Lord Chaitanya worshipped by Narottam Thakur. This is Pratibhu Radha Vinod, worshipped by Lokanath Goswami. And this is Radha. What is it? I forget actually. Radha, I forget, I'm sorry.
Gokulananda.
No. This is Gokulananda on his own here. And here is the Govardhan Shila given by Lord Chaitanya to Bhagavad Goswami. Yeah. This is Gokulananda. For some reason they don't put eyes on him, but anyway, this is little Gokulananda, who was worshipped by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Right. And, well, close to the they had a double-barreled name. I forget these ones, I forget what it is, I'm sorry. I don't think so. Yeah. So this is rather than owned. Practical. This is a practical deity of Narottam Das Thakur's Lord Chaitanya. The original is in Kadyavan, in just the most obscure place, I tell you what, out of the way. And this is Lord Chaitanya's Govardhan Shila, which he worshipped himself, and later he gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya would bathe the Shila with his tears, and then massage the Shila with his thumb very intensely, so that he made this impression in the top of the Govardhan Shila. And really very amazing deity. And just outside, in the same compound, is this Samadhi garden. It used to be a garden actually, but then they built a roof over the top. And this is the Bhajan Kutya and Samadhi of Lokanath Goswami. Right, Lokanath. This is the Narottam Das Thakur's Pushpa Samadhi. And this is the Pushpa Samadhi of, what's his name, Chakravarti? Ganganarayan Chakravarti. And then we could just stop here for a minute and I'll tell you his story. He was one of the maybe the leading disciple of Narottam Das Thakur. And Chakravarti means he's a Brahmin, whereas Narottam Das was a Kshatriya. In fact, his brother was the king in Kaituri, where they were brought up. So anyway, Ganganarayan Chakravarti was a big scholar, and there were many other disciples of Narottam Das from Brahmin families who were big scholars. So one day, one very puffed up, Digvijay scholar, means traveling and all-conquering scholar, he heard that this Narottam, who's a Kshatriya, is initiating Brahmins in Kaituri. So he went there. He thought, this is really bad, this is against the caste system. So he went there with his whole entourage to debate with Narottam, and he thought or hoped to defeat Narottam and show that the Brahmins are the best. But the word came in that this fellow is coming with his entourage, that he was coming on an elephant. And so Ganganarayan Chakravarti and several other of the Brahmin disciples of Narottam Das Thakur, they went out on the main road, the road which led into the town, and they asked the little shopkeepers, could we please take over your shops for a little while. And of course, they all knew each other very well, so the shopkeepers let them take over the shops. So now you've got all these big pundits and Sanskrit scholars, etc., sitting in the little shops like that, the little shopkeepers. And in came this big Digvijay scholar with his entourage. And some of the scholar disciples of the big Digvijay pundit, they went to ask some of the little shopkeepers, where can we find Narottam Das? But the little shopkeepers answered that they asked in like people's Bengali, and the little shopkeepers replied in perfect Sanskrit and said, why? What do you want to see Narottam for? And so these young scholars, quite astonished that these little shopkeepers speak perfect Sanskrit, about the idea of having a debate with Narottam. And the devotee scholars, disciples like Gangadhara himself and his friends, they started debates with all these scholars and defeated them completely. And the scholars asked, where did you learn this? And Gangadhara and the others said, we learned it all from Narottam Das. And you think we know something? Wait till you meet Narottam Das. So the big Digvijay scholar was so shocked, the whole entourage turned around and left. But he, the big Digvijay scholar, came back and he became a disciple of Narottam Das Thakur. This is the Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And Lokanath, that was the first, well, it's the Vajrakuta Samadhi, and it's the biggest. He worshipped Radha Vinod, and this is the original Radha Vinod, there in Jaipur. Yeah, just opposite the entrance to the palace. Very beautiful little deities being worshipped to this day very nicely. Right, okay. Oh, and then just go back for a second. And back. Radha Vinod, he's small. And Lokanath Goswami, what he would do, he had like a bead bag, like a big bead bag, and he would walk around with Vinod in the bead bag, and he would chant his rounds, massaging the body of Vinod. This was his practice. Right, anyway, so now our last stop, devotees, is the Radha Raman temple. And beautiful deities. I'm sure those of you who've been to Vrindavan have been there. And extremely popular. So here we go, we're going in the entrance way, and we have to go in a bit. But on the, let me just show you a bit. On the left, just around, just down the road about 10 meters, is the samadhi of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who was the person who worshipped Radha Raman. And this place here, anyway, I'll tell you the story. He was instructed by Lord Chaitanya, go up to Nepal, go to the Gandaki River, and get some shalagram shilas, because that's where you get them. So he did, and he came back and he was worshipping the Shalagram Shivas. But one day, in his heart he was praying that, please, my Lord, as you appeared out of the stone column in Hiranyakashipu's palace, you appeared in your incarnation as Nrsimha. Can you please appear from one of these Shalagram Shivas? So one of them was quite big, a Damodar Shiva, and that night, when he woke up, that Shalagram Shiva had turned into Radharama. That was the day before Lord Nrsimha's appearance day. Sorry? Oh, just a second. So anyway, this is the place. Oops. This is the place where Radharama appeared from the Shalagram Shiva of Gopalbhatta Goswami, and then he would worship Radharama. Right. This is the Samadhi of Gopalbhatta Goswami. And these are some of his Shalagram Shivas. Yes, okay, so we're going into the temple. We get some garlands for the deities, and in we go. And there, small deity and a little bag, so, you can't get close. There's Radharama. And there he is. It's summer. He's in a sporting mood with shorts on. And there you can see is Srimati Radharani. Can you see her? You can't. Neither can I, actually. Because you need spiritual eyes. But she's there. And therefore her crown is there. Her clothes are there. And this is a garland for her. Yeah. She's unmanifest. But anyway, he is just a really nice deity. This is him having been massaged with oil on his appearance day, the day before Lord Nrsimha's appearance day. They had a big festival. These are some photos of him. And if you look closely, you'll see he has little teeth for eating his bhoga. You can sort of see them a bit there. There you can see them a little more clearly. Radharama's little teeth. But anyway, he's a really beautiful deity. Extremely popular. And there you go, devotees. Those are the 7 original temples of Vrindavan, the very old original deities of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Hare Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ke